Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be reading some Reddit confessions. So without wasting any time, because I have filmed this video a couple of times now and for hours, I'm tired. So let's just read, shall we? Um, I'm reading on my laptop and then I'm going to be adding the actual posts on the side for you guys to read along with me. So the first one says, I changed the baby's name of a mentally disabled woman. Okay, let's hear why. Please let me explain. I used to be a volunteer with a certain organization that worked with disabled adults. I worked with a woman during her last trimester of pregnancy. She was diagnosed with Down syndrome, which was like significant Down syndrome. I think she wrote that wrong. Nobody was sure how she got pregnant, but was pretty sure it was a family member. This young lady had been removed from the care of her family and was in the state's custody. Her baby was diagnosed in utero with significant issues and was not going to live but a few hours after birth. We had discussed this with her several times, but wasn't sure if she really understood. She said she did, but did she? I was with her when the little girl was born. Of course, the doctor was working on her, and nurse asked what she wants to name her. The young lady said she heard the doctor say the most beautiful name ever, and everyone in the room was confused. Apparently, when the doctor was explaining to her what was happening to her body, he said, "Your vagina may tear." All she heard was vagina may. I'm not laughing, I swear. Yep, that's what she wanted to name the baby. When she tried to explain, she couldn't. When we tried to explain, she couldn't. She became hysterical, which was not the time or place. The baby was fading fast. So we calmed her, and I said I'd handle it later. A few hours later, I'm helping her do the birth and death certificate as well as comforting her. Somehow, my finger slipped and I put an L in the place of the G in the baby's name. I felt horrible. I couldn't bring myself to let that poor baby be named that on her headstone. The mother couldn't read or write. Her social worker took one look at the papers and did a deep sigh of relief and signed off on them, as did the doctor. I still feel guilty. Honestly, I can confidently say you don't have to feel guilty. That's and she's not gonna know unless somebody tells her. She's not gonna know. And even if she does know, what is she gonna do about it? Nothing. Nothing. But I think it's more of like maybe she doesn't understand like the current situation. Or she did understand and she didn't really care about that baby. But vagina me is still not a nice name, guys. Pasta on grinder. Okay. We hit it off fast, really into each other. We bonded over sexual fantasies, and we arrived to the subject of sex with the pasta. I entertained it, not thinking much of it other than typical chatter, until he mentioned a scenario, one that resonated. After a few days of deep diving into the subject, I was intrigued to the point where I asked for a picture. At this point, we were both anonymous. He sends nudes and requests I do the same. I asked for a face pic first. I'd like to see face before I share my personal nudes. After some discussion, still no face pic. Days went by and nothing from him until I see that he sent me a picture. I opened it and immediately felt the rush of my soul almost leaving my body. It was my pastor from growing up. Jesus Christ. Y'all have confessions, me. Like, it's Jesus. It's Jesus telling you to stop it. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that. Yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know there in the comments. Uh-uh. Is he the only one? Have you guys ever experienced something like this? Confession. I, 19 female, ruined my ex friend's life. When I was 17 to 18, I had a horrible habit of putting my feelings and emotions into control of my actions and not recognizing others' emotions. So you were self absorbed and selfish. My ex friend group had a sex positive type of group, or was a sex positive type of group. You could even say that we seemed, from the outsider's perspective, forward, but more complex. I had never been in that type of environment and it excited me, made me feel liberated and grown. How wrong was it in that aspect, since my young mind didn't fully comprehend the consequences, the feelings, or the makeup of relationship. We were all so close, all had past issues that caused us to be quite sexual, not by choice. This led me to take advantage in a sense of this, especially with one individual within the group. What? I had a crush on this person and it would come off very inappropriately. I wouldn't allow them to breathe in a sense by continually asking if they liked me back. Mind you, they were in a relationship at this time. Whatever, however, is polygamous. How are you guys 17, 18 in polygamous relationships? Like, I don't like the same things I liked back when I was 18 or 17. So, why would you make such a big decision? I don't even date the same guy I used to date when I was 18. That's not even that far back. But okay. Um, I did the toxic thing of waiting for my chance, forgetting that this is a person and not an object. After a while, I lost romantic interest in this person. However, the environment of the group being this aspect of those romantic feelings turned into sexual feelings. I continuously would make sexual suggestions to this person to the point it possibly made me feel like if they finally gave me what I wanted, I would stop. In short, I essayed them. Now, before you say you are such a disgusting human for that, how could you do that, such a thing? Trust me, I live with the mental, I live with that mentally and will live with it for the rest of my life. There is no exceptions for this type of behavior. But I will say this, I'm glad that I have realized the bad habits of not recognizing others' emotions and letting my emotions control how I act. Every day I am trying to better myself. So to not ever repeat anything like this ever again. I'm not judging you, but from the context here, you and your friends were essayed, right? You have essay backgrounds, right? So you decided to harass and stalk one of your friends in that group and essay them. You need therapy. That's what you need. You don't need the guilt, you need therapy. Because clearly you think it's okay and it's not. Gosh, you that friend probably has trust issues with friends now. They probably don't even have any friends because you ruined that for them. Wow. But I'm not judging. I think. Okay. The last one, guys. I'm in love with a coworker, but I need to let her go. Yo, I can really see this is bad. So this time last year, I went to see HR regarding a hiring committee I was part of, and the favoritism they showed a candidate. The director of HR granted me, uh, the director of HR granted she was the only HR employee at the time, is this beautiful African American woman with big bright eyes and a gorgeous smile. We talked about my committee and that they just talked about and then we just talked about life. She was going through hard times. We ended up becoming fast friends. I would go and check up on her. Fast forward to August, I went to go see her again, just dropped in as a quick hello and was reminded how beautiful she was. The next week I saw her, she stopped by where I was standing in line for food and touched my shoulder, finger to skin. You're already making this weird. You are already making this weird. Finger to skin, really? And I literally felt a spark go through me. I just stopped. She just stopped to say hi. She just stopped to say hi. I think that was the moment I couldn't stop thinking about her. That's so weird. Just because you touched your skin on your shoulders. So first, you guys can't focus without when you guys are looking at our shoulders, and now when we touch your shoulders with our fingers, it's now something. Weird. Anyway, from that moment forward, I started to go to her office once a week. We had great conversation. I was learning more about her. She had astrology. We had astrology in common. We learned about each other's families. We both were having problems as she was on the edge of divorce. My love life at the time was non existent with my wife. What do you mean your love life was non existent with your wife? Things that happen at work, me? Things that are happening at work. Hey, people will be saying, hey, my work wife, my work husband. Kanti abadlali basikazi. Yeah. However, I started to enjoy her company way more than expected. Because of our interest in astrology, I knew her birthday was coming up in October. I decided to buy her a birthday card with a gift card for a restaurant. Before I got out of the car, I said to myself, I think I'm in love with her. Phew. That's when I knew I was in trouble. I began to write poems about her, which seemed to be therapeutic, and having non stop thoughts about her. Mind you, I'm still going to her office once a week. I gave her the card. We are still talking. She's still going through shit with her husband. I'm taking her, I'm talking about her to select coworkers. I offered to buy her lunch, another way to spend time with her. Well, turns out she had a meeting with our CEO and we had turns out she had a meeting with our CEO and we would have had less than 10 minutes. I was devastated, like seriously heartbroken. Thus began my limerence. I still went to see her every chance I got, probably too much. She never told me not she never told me to not come and see her. In fact, it became you should come by often. I did. Hmm. A conference that both of us and several other now you see, this is where the problem this is where the problems are. A conference that both of us and several other employees attended happened in late November to December. We were very connected at the hip. She flashed me her room number without saying a word. I chose not to go. Literally the week before, during Thanksgiving, two things happened. One, I ran into a psychic who gave me a reading and told me not to sleep with her. And two, my wife and I had a devastating argument about the state of our relationship. It had went to shit while when we started therapy. Skipping the fact I didn't go up that night, we had a great time together. So if you didn't fight with your wife, if a psychic didn't come and tell you don't do it, you were gonna go do it. You see where the problems are. You were gonna go up there to her room and do what? Hmm? Yeah, I had went. Sorry. We spent an incredible amount of time together. It was fun. It felt incredibly refreshed. I felt incredibly refreshed having spent time with her. The one downside to the entire trip was that she told me she was reconciling with her husband. Why is that a downside? It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's her husband. I asked her out twice for a meal in December. So she tells you I'm fixing things with my husband when I decide to invite her out to eat. You ask her out on a date. She gave no she never gave a direct no, but created excuses. January came and she got sick. I texted her a lot, checking in on her. When she came back, I asked her if I texted her too much. She said yes. I completely stopped. I think my poetry ramped up more because of that. She also reminded me she was trying to reconcile with her husband. In the same breath, she asked me how I was doing as I was newly separated. It became emotional. The next event, per se, happened in February. After Valentine's Day, I went to see her. I asked how things were going with her and her husband. She said they went well. I had really started talking with other people on dating apps. I mentioned this to her and she seemed a bit bothered. I was surprised. Somehow my wife came into conversation and I told her that I talked to her more than my wife. She blushed. That's the problem. You don't talk to your wife, you're too busy talking to your work wife. She blushed. Despite having good moments with her, I was heartbroken that her and her husband were doing well. I didn't go see her for 2 weeks. There was a function midday. She waved at me and I was excited to see her. When I started to walk towards her, she turned around and ignored me. This hurt me severely and I have trauma from people ignoring me. I stopped going to see her again. She texted me for my birthday. Granted, it was a week late, but I was excited. This was the first time we had a text conversation in over 2 months. She mentioned that she has to take medical leave. Needless to say, I was devastated. I went to see her and she was very sad. She started telling me about her family life as a child, but we were interrupted. While she was out, a coworker started a meal train account for her so she wouldn't have to cook. There was an area where you could buy DoorDash gift cards. I bought $200 worth and also sent $300 in Visa gift cards via a coworker who would see her. When she comes back to work, she tries to give me one of the gift cards back, which was right. I mean, $500, $500, like out of the whole office, people are giving $50 extra or whatever. Winner, what? $500. Yeah, but I told her I wouldn't accept it back. I'm very in love with her. I tried dating other people, but that doesn't help, as I end up talking about her when asked if there's someone else. I want to ask her what her thoughts are about me, but I'm horrified that she thinks I'm a creep. I think she considers you her friend, but you are trying to be more than that. Even though she told you that she is fixing things with her husband. Wow, you do need to let her go. That's all I'm saying. Do need to let her go. Um, fix things with your wife, but I don't think you can because I think that is completely gone. Because you don't even want to try. So, mm. Anyway, guys, I will see you guys next week in my next video. Bye.